All right, so on this ACT packet portion, we're doing questions 1 through 24. You'll get a new packet at the end of this. It shouldn't be as long. I think it's only like 21 questions, something like that. And then tomorrow will be like your remaining through 60. Should only be like 13 questions. Question number 1, do you guys have like the A, B, C, and D portion of that? Do I need to give you the exact numbers of everything, or can I give you the letter? All right, well, I'm going to give you letters through here then. All right, 1 is D. 2, let's make sure that we're not doing that. 2 is H. 3 is E. 4 is F. 5 is E. 6 is H. 7 is E, 8 is H, 9 is A. So, I mean, if I was going through here with the red ink pen, I'd be circling the right answer if I got it wrong. Okay. All right, 10 is K, 11 is C, 12 is K, 13 is B, 14 is H, and we'll go through again as many of these as we can that we had questions over. 15 is B, 16 is H, 17 is D, 18 is F, 19 is D, 20 is, let's see, I believe that's an F, yeah. 21 is B, 22 is H, 23 is A, and 24 is H. Okay, do I need to go back and reread any of those?
22 is J, right?
22 was H. 22 was H. Any others? No? Okay, so I'm going to scroll up. See the beginning here. Okay. 1 or 2? Anybody 1 or 2? Okay. 3 through 6. 3 and 6. Okay, 3. On a particular map, 1/2 inch represents 18 miles. About how many miles apart are two towns that are 2.5 inches apart? What I did is I set this up as a proportion. Okay, I made 1/2 just 0.5 because it's going to be easier to work with for this. 1/2 is to 18 miles. Okay, as 2.5 is to an unknown number of miles. So cross multiply and divide, 18 times 2.5 divided by 0.5, and you should get 90 miles. So go ahead and try that out real quick. And does that make sense? Do you understand how that setup works? Okay, and you got the 90? Okay. All right, 6. George's current hourly wage for working at Denty Smiles is $12, so he makes $12 per hour. Okay, George was told at the beginning of next month his new hourly wage will be an increase of 6% on his currently hourly wage. What will George's new hourly wage be? All right, so you're taking his hourly wage, which is 12, multiplying it by that 6%, so times 0.06, okay, which is going to come out to 0.72. So it has an increase of 72 cents an hour. You need to add that to his hourly wage as it is. So you should get $12.72 is going to be his new hourly wage. Okay? Does that make more sense? Were we making it more complicated than it needed? Okay, 0.06, yeah. So we need to be careful when we convert percentage to a decimal. Okay. Let's flip on over. 7 through 10. 9. Any others on this column? Okay, you said 9? Okay. Computer chip is 0.32 millimeters thick, is made up of layers of silicon. If the top and bottom layers are each 0.03 centimeters thick, and the inner layers are 0.02 centimeters thick, how many inner layers are there? So the first thing that I did is I took, let's see, it's 0.32 millimeters thick total, right? So I took 0.32 and I subtracted that top and bottom layer, which was 0.03. So 2 times 0.03 is going to tell me how thick that inner layer is. Does that make sense? And I should get something like 0.26, right? So finally, I'm going to take that 0.26. I'm going to divide it by the thickness of those inner layers, which is 0.02. So 0.26 divided by 0.02 should leave me with what? 13 layers. Okay? Does that help? Okay. Anything else from that column? 7 through 10? Nothing there. What about 11 through 14? 14. Okay. All right. The answer is H. Okay. Antoine drew the circle graph below, describing his time spent at school in one day. His teacher said that the number of hours listed were correct, but that the central angle measure for the sectors were not correct. What should the central angle measure for the core subject's sector be? Okay, so we're looking at this as a circle that has 360 degrees, right? Okay, core sector here is semicircle, so notice that what it's representing right now is 180 degrees, okay, which has to be incorrect. And the reason it's incorrect is we have to go to the hours, okay? How many total hours are there? Well, we've got 3, 4, 5, and 9, okay? 4 is not half of 9, right? So we know that that has to be wrong. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take 360. I took 360 and I divided it by 9 hours to find out how many degrees each hour should be, right? So that tells me that each hour is 40 degrees. Then I took 40 times 4, and I got 160 degrees. Okay? So that should be our new amount is 160 degrees. So you want to base it upon the hours, not the appearance of it. Does that answer our questions there? Okay? All right. 15. I imagined 15 would come up. Okay. This one would take a lot of time. And so what I ended up doing was a guess and check method is going to be your fastest method for this. It says this month Cami sold 70 figures in 2 sizes. The larger was $12 each. The smaller was $8 each. The amount of money he received from the sales of the large figures was equal to the amount of money he received from the sales of the small figures. How many large figures did Cami sell this month? So we have a fixed number of 70, okay? And we have, we make $12 on the large, we make $8 on the small. And what they told me is that I'm going to make the same amount of money between them, okay? So you could go through a lot of different ways, but what I did was guess and check. So this is based upon the largest, right? Okay, so what I would do is 12 times 20. All right, what is 12 times 20? 240. Now, If I sold 20 larges, I had to have sold 50 smalls, right? Because I had to sell 70. So we're taking 8 times 50. 400. So you see that those numbers are not the same, right? We're looking for an answer that's going to come out to the same. So let's move on to the next one. All right, let's do 28 larges. So that's going to be 12 times 28. 336. Okay, now we have to take 28 from 70 to find out how many smalls we would have sold. All right, take 42 times 8. All right, boom, I'm done. I could take a really complicated question and we simplified it. So we sold 28 larges. That fits all the parameters of the question. Okay? Because you could go through it and yeah, there's probably a way to solve that, but you're going to take more time solving it than you will just plugging in, because at most you've got, even if it was E, that's still going to be quicker than racking your brain to find a formula. Okay, where it's not obvious. All right, anything else from that column? 16, 17, 18, or 19? 16. Okay. Car accelerated from 88 feet per second to 220 feet per second in exactly 3 seconds. Assuming the acceleration was constant, what was the car's acceleration in feet per second from 88 to 220? So what I did is I took 220 minus 88. Okay, should come out to 132. Okay, so he's accelerating 132 feet per second over the course of 3 seconds. So what I need to do with that is divide by 3 and find out how many feet per second I'm accelerating at. So that should come out to what? 44. Okay, it says, what was the car's acceleration in feet per second? What was your answer on that?
I set up a cross multiply.
Okay, all right. Hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Anything else from that column, 17, 18, or 19? All right, final column, 20 through 24. 21? Okay, so 21, 22, and 23? Okay. Let's see, 20. Let's come up here. Trapezoid. We know that AB is parallel to CD, so those are my bases. The measures of the interior angles are distinct, and the measure of angle D is X. What is the degree measure of A in terms of X? This is what you want to know about this. In a quadrilateral, consecutive angles are supplementary. Okay? So what we're ultimately saying here about angle A is that X plus A equals 180. So if I want to solve for A, I'm going to subtract X, right? So A equals 180 minus X. Who was 20? Whose question was 20? Nobody had 20? I did 20 for no good reason. Okay. What's that?
Still helpful.
Okay. All right, 21. Who was 21? Okay, I want to make sure 21 is actually one that needs answered. All right. To get a driver's license, an application must pass a written test. Past records show that 80% of applicants pass the written test, and 60% of those who pass the written test pass the driving test. So we have to do this in 2 portions. All right, if we have 1,000 applicants, we're going to find out how many pass the written test. Okay, so we're going to take 1,000 times 0.6. Okay, and that's going to be 800 people. So 800 out of 1,000 will pass the written test. Now we're going to take that, those that pass the written test, they say that hold on. I did the wrong thing. This should have been 0.8, right? Times 0.8. Okay? So times 0.8 is 800. Okay? Now we're going to take 800 times 0.6 to get the remaining portion, which means 480 people out of 1,000 will pass both tests. Okay? All right, who was 22? 22. All right, good. 22, if A, B, and C are positive integers such that AB equals X and CB equals Y, then what is XY? So here we use substitution. So for X, we're going to use A to the B. And for Y, we're going to use C to the B, which this is the same thing as A, C to the B. Does that help? Okay, substitution. Okay, and 23. 23. Which of the following expressions is equivalent? Basically what you want to do is you want to distribute the 1/2 y squared. Multiplying everything times 1/2 is the same as dividing it by 2. Okay, so 6x, if I divide that by 2, I'm going to get 3x, but y squared, right? Plus, 2 divided by 2, right, is 1. So I'm going to get y cubed, okay, plus 6xy squared minus y cubed, right? Okay, so combine like terms, right? So I'm getting, what, 3xy squared, and these cancel out. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, 9, right, because we're adding, not subtracting. Okay, 9xy squared. Nobody had 24? We need 24. Okay. This is another one where you could solve this by completing the square, and I've got all kinds of work for doing that. Okay, but this kind of goes back to that same question. What time do we get out of here? Because I want to make sure I don't run out of time. 10:55, I think. So I got enough time to do this. Okay. An artist makes a profit of 500p minus p squared dollars from selling p paintings. What's the fewest number of paintings the artist can sell to make a profit of at least 60,000? So 60,000 is the smallest number I can get. So I can show you how, we could take, 500p minus p squared has to be greater than or equal to 60,000. I rearrange that, so negative p squared plus 500p is greater than or equal to 60,000. Okay, divide everything by -1, so I'm dealing with a positive p squared. Okay, so I'm going to get p squared minus 500p, and because it's got to be at least equal to 60,000, I'm going to change that to that. Right. And then I'm going to complete the square by taking negative 500 divided by 2 and squaring it, okay, which is going to come out to, what does it come out to? 62,500, add 60. Okay, so you can see where this is getting into a lot of work, right? All right. I'm going to stop right here and show you that there's a much easier way to do this, okay? Because you have to consider that sometimes knowing how to solve the question is not the fastest way to get there, given the fact that you're on a multiple choice test. So the quickest way to get there is 500 times 100 minus 100 squared. What does that equal? 4,000. Does it get me to 60,000? No. All right, so move on. Okay, what about 150? 500 times 150 minus 150 squared. What does that get me?
62,500.
Does it get me to 60,000? No. Okay, move on. 200. 500 times 200 minus 200 squared. Gets me there, right? Now, the truth is that if you try 300, 300 is also going to get you 60,000. But it goes back to this. It says, what is the fewest number of paintings we have to sell? Okay? 200 is smaller than 300, therefore we take the 200. Okay? Now, if you solve by completing the square, the two numbers that you're going to get are 200 and 300. Okay? You're still going to get there but it's going to take you 2 or maybe 3 times as long to do it. Okay, to get to the same answer, and the whole time you're doing that, you are losing time on other questions you can be solving and getting right. Okay, so where you have the ability to plug in numbers, plug them in. Okay, I'm not telling you to do that on your normal classroom tests, but I am telling you on the ACT, it is a strategy that can help you. All right, does that answer our questions for this? All right, we'll hit stop here, and we'll hand out your next set of materials.